You all, I'm so excited because today I'm with Odidi, the owner of Fresh One Kitchen, my favorite restaurant. Seriously, from Fresh One Kitchen, Odidi, I believe I've shared this with you, but I just want to reiterate how much I love you, how much I love Fresh One Kitchen. Thank you for answering the call and answering your purpose because Fresh One Kitchen has supported my health so much. I'm down 60 pounds. I'm down 60 pounds. I've learned to pay more attention to what agrees with my body and what doesn't because I'm on the go a lot. So I tend to eat out, most times. I cook, but I tend to eat out most times. And there was nothing that existed that's really healthy, right? Because so many of these restaurants have so much salt in the food and all these things that aren't healthy for me, and not healthy for any of us, to be quite honest. And then when I discovered Fresh One Kitchen and the deliciousness of the food, it also shifted the whole story I had to where, oh, food don't taste good unless it has all this salt and all these things, And so I'm down 60 pounds. I've shifted my health completely. My vitals are all green. Yay, green vitals. And it's taught me how to cook. It's taught me how to cook better for myself as well. So I just want to thank you and give credit where credit is due to you. And Odidi, tell us more about you. Tell us more about who you are, your background experience. You have so much. You and I have had countless conversations about it, and also about Fresh One Kitchen and its vision.
Zen, thank you so much for having me, and I'm truly excited to be here one more time. Our conversations have been very insightful, very meaningful, and it's actually made a difference in my life. So thank you. Um, my journey, well, let me speak. Maybe my journey is pretty long. I'm old, so my journey is pretty
We got
long.
time, Odidi. We got time. We got
Yeah.
time.
But I think I would shorten it to the Atlanta market. I came out here about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, to work and partner with the Juicy Crab to make some changes with that concept. We did that for about a year, and once that contract was over, I decided I didn't want to go back to where I was before. I'm in Atlanta. I've always loved Atlanta, and I said, why not start a restaurant here? So, and that's how the concept of Fresh One Kitchen was born. We began the work about 4 years ago, and we're able to open our first location about probably 7 to 8 months later. And it's really been a roller coaster. It's been a joy. We've had our good days and our bad days. Overall, I'm truly, truly excited to be part of this journey because it's made such a difference in my life.
And where were you before?
I lived in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, okay, yes, that's
Yes,
right,
yes,
because that's
yes,
how
yes,
we connected. Because I was like,
yes,
I'm originally from Ohio. Yeah,
yes.
don't blame me not wanting to go back there. I mean, to me, the only thing that's happening in Ohio is Columbus. That is like the place to be. But at the same time, what I hear is you just wanted to expand more. You
That's
knew there
right.
was more.
That's
So
right.
you came to Atlanta. And the first Fresh One Kitchen was opened in which location?
The Kennesaw location, and
Okay.
that was done September of 2022.
Okay. Okay. And you have the Kennesaw location and the Sandy
Sandy Springs
Springs.
location, and Lord willing, we plan to do more this 2026. Yes.
Can you give us a little exclusive,
I
Odidi?
think we're coming really close to this area, McDonough. So there's an area called Jericho Road. My lips are sealed, but we're coming out here. We're also looking at probably up north towards Cummings.
This is exciting. First of all, congratulations to you. Second of all, I just want to celebrate your mapping for the restaurant because what I love about what you do is you don't over concentrate. I don't know if that's the appropriate term, but you don't over concentrate the restaurant. You keep them far enough to where it makes sense. Because we've seen so much in Atlanta, and you've seen, because you've been in this industry for such a long time, that we see restaurants, they start to do well, then and they're making money, and then they overbuild, and then literally it's like 5 minutes down the road, from the next one, like Starbucks, like Kava, like all these Chipotle, like all these places, and it's like it's not wise to do. And we've also seen, I know I've witnessed many restaurants like Snooze. There was a Snooze right by me. When they started building too many too close, and then they ended up closing a bunch of them. So I just want to commend you for that, because that's amazing. So y'all hear that in those other parts of Georgia, just be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. I actually got the beautiful opportunity to visit the Kennesaw location this past week. I was up there visiting another location, and I was like, I'm gonna check out the Fresh One Kitchen up here, and I just love it. Like, just the ambiance, just even the aesthetic of it. Could you just speak a little bit to that? Because when I saw the Kennesaw location, because the Sandy Springs location is great too, but when I saw both, it was like an aha moment. I really began to really see your, I guess I would say, strategic planning around the aesthetic. It's clean, it's fresh, it's natural looking with the wood and everything. The motto that you have up top, can you just speak even a little bit to that? Because I was like, yo, Odidi really, and I look at things like that. I was like, he really is very intentional about every single thing when it comes to this business.
I think one thing I could touch on today would be most about information. I think I grew up not liking broccoli, but as I grew up, one of the things I began to look into was the benefits of broccoli to my body. So the more I realized how good broccoli was for me, I tend to eat broccoli, as much as I don't like it. And I think it was the same model I used when building Fresh One. I wanted people to try things they ordinarily are not comfortable with. And how do we do that? We do that by providing tons of information about the health benefits of that item. And we have that plastered all over the wall. And so you have people coming, they go say to me, what is black rice? I never knew about black rice until I read the information on your wall. So that was very, very intentional on our end to educate people a little bit about what they eat and the health benefits of what they eat.
I love that. And also, with that being said, so you said you didn't like broccoli. What are the benefits of broccoli? Because I'm not even clear on what the benefits of broccoli actually are, because I don't like broccoli. I don't like the smell of broccoli. It's like I don't mind the taste of it, but if I put it in my fridge, it's automatically gonna stink. So I don't eat a lot of it. But what are the benefits? Because maybe I need to get like you and add more. I love Brussels sprouts though, which is interesting because they do the same thing. But for some
Right.
reason, I can reason with Brussels sprouts.
Well, broccoli is heavy in fiber, so it's one of those things where, and we're always encouraged to eat more fiber. So I strongly would encourage you to incorporate that into your meal. It fills you up, and it's not it doesn't convert into sugar and none of that stuff. So which is a really good thing for us at the end of the day. But that's really been the essence of what we do. And almost every product we have has a story behind it. And without diving deep into all of it, they just we had it. We thought about each item, what kind of seasonings to use with that item, and is that item better when we roast it, or is that item better when we steam it? So each we put a lot of thought into each of the items we serve, and that's how we things. That's why you love what we do, I guess.
And
Yeah.
when you say is the item better when we steam it or when we roast it, is that based on the nutritional value? Like,
Absolutely.
wow,
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
amazing.
Absolutely.
That's fan.
Yeah.
What are some things I know without diving too deep? Because you saw me perk up. That's why Didi said Zen without getting into all of it. Because I saw your excitement in your eyes without getting into all of it. Because I'm just so fascinated by it. What is an item that is great to roast and what's a item that's great to steam. And because this is great. So we also know at home, like maybe a common item that you rather roast it or this one you rather steam it.
I think I'm going to use your favorite item, Brussels sprouts. When you steam Brussels sprouts, it can be hard and sometimes it's just difficult to chew. But when you roast it, you get those natural flavors come alive, and every bite brings that crunchiness, which you go, oh wow! So, and that's really been that's the essence of this conversation. Just understanding what items we can roast and what items we can steam and what items we need to grill.
What about? I'm so happy to hear this because I had no idea with Brussels sprouts. No wonder, because I would steam them, and it makes sense. Like I do like them better roasted, and it makes sense. Like when you said the flavor and everything, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so true. Like it's so real. What about when you with Brussels sprouts? What's another way that I had cooked Brussels sprout in the air fryer? What do you think about? To me, it felt like it was overcooked. Like I didn't even get the taste of the Brussels sprout. Like how? What do you feel about that?
I
Is
think air
that
fryers work really well. Just because it reduces that process of frying. I think if I were to encourage you at home, I would say maybe check the temperature. Look at the temperature and see, are you overcooking it or do you need to dial that down? But I think an air fryer works perfectly for Brussels sprouts if you want to roast it.
I did
Yeah,
overcook it? You are
yeah,
so right, Odidi. Right? I did not look at the
yeah,
temperature. I was
yeah,
just like, oh, let me
yeah,
put it in the middle and just
yeah, yeah,
go. I love that. I love that. I would love for you to share the
sure.
vision and the mission.
Our vision is simply to share life and build communities, and in so doing, make an impactful difference in the lives of the people that have been entrusted to us. And we do this through serving great food that's all around good for you. We do this by exceptional customer service, and we also believe in personal development of our people. Now, this is me just paraphrasing our whole vision, but it's well written and well put together, and I should know that.
You know what though? What I see is that as you were saying that, the passion, the passion. Do you kind of get a little choked up when you speak to it?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I could tell that because
yes,
as soon as you said it,
yes.
I just saw that passion come up within you. And that's so beautiful. And it's so important because those are the places I want to eat at. I want to eat at the places that have an owner like you that literally, when they're speaking to it, they start to well up. You see that passion because when you see that and you witness that, it just shows you are 100% all in because we have a lot of people out here, ODD, and I know that you know that they're in it for the money. They're in it for not the right reasons, but you're actually in this for the love of it. And it says a lot because the restaurant business is not for the weak at all because this is food. Food is personal. Food is serious business. We have to have food to fuel our bodies to live. There's literally healing in the food, and you got millions of people that have different taste buds that are picky. Some can be extra. Okay, all the
Yeah.
things. So to have literally a restaurant to say, hey, this is my space. This is what our vision and mission is. Come in. You never know what they've encountered that day. So it's not the easiest business to have. And there are so many, with that being said, there are so many people listening right now, Odidi, who are wondering if they should keep going with the vision that they're pursuing. And I would love for you to just speak directly to them for a moment. Can you share a time when you questioned continuing your own journey and what ultimately kept you on course?
Sure. I think I would probably go back to our vision and expound on it a little bit, and then I come back to this conversation. And I think for us, once the vision was written down, once we opened our first location, we needed to translate our vision into our mission. We needed to make it a living, breathing thing. And I think that was it was a bit challenging at first. But one of the focus we kept was we knew we had a great product. We knew the food was good, and we knew these are the people that have been entrusted to us. So how do we bring this alive? So we started focusing on the food, which I've spoken a little bit briefly, and then we focused on guest experience. And what do I mean by that? The one thing I remember saying to my team is we want to make sure every guest that comes in here, we treat them so well that when they leave, they want to tell somebody else. And that has become a culture that's really been prevalent, as it's just kept building and building and it's building on its own. And you can see that in on our Google reviews, on our Yelp reviews, on many platforms, we had a 4.9 for both locations. And the comments, and I read those comments, every single one that the guests leave about how wonderful they felt, about their wonderful experience. So that part of our mission, we live that daily. So on the first part really has to do with the guests, which is one, create food that's really good for them, food that's fresh, food that's healthy, food that makes them feel good. And the second part is just that great experience where they come in, we say hello, we find out about their day. We get to talk to them and build relationships. The other two parts of our mission has to do with our team, our employees, or if I were to call them that. And the first part is we work really hard to pay them what here in Georgia is called a living wage. It's a little bit hard as a businessman to make those decisions, but we know it's the right thing to do. So we work diligently to make sure we pay them well. So the goal is usually if we pay them well, they won't go anywhere. And that's really been a true experience for our concepts. For our concept, we have a zero turnover. The Kennesaw location may be a little bit different because I have a lot of college kids, and once they graduate, they move on. But the other locations that have working people, they stay, and we want to see them keep one job if that is possible. We want to see them be able to do one job, go home, and be able to pay their bills if that is possible. The second part for our employees is the personal development. We have a mantra that says we learn, we share, and we grow together. So we work diligently to provide systems to help them be their very best selves. My goal for them has always been if you came to me here, when you're leaving, you should be here. And that means it requires a lot of pouring yourself out. It requires a lot of me studying more to be able to add value to their life. But we also make them we encourage them to ask questions. So in the process, we all learn together, we all share together, and we all grow together.
Wow. Wow. That's the reason why you're so blessed.
Thank you. And to complete your question, talk about somebody that's discouraged in their vision. I
Yes.
would always say you have to translate your vision into your mission. A wise man once said to me back in the day, so Didi, don't run after money. If you run after money, money runs away. So, and that what does that mean? That really means translating your vision into your mission. And I'll say to anybody out there, once your vision is written down, run with it. Live it. Whatever you're looking for, whatever success means to you, it will come over time. But do not be discouraged. Just remember what you have is a gift that's been given to you. Nobody else has it but you. And it will work if you stay true to it.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And I love that you take care of your people. You protect your team and you protect the vision as well. And it makes sense why when I go into Fresh One Kitchen, both locations, they are so happy to be there. They are so focused. They are so intentional. They are so dedicated. They love what they do. There has not been one time I've entered in and they're not smiling. How you doing? Laughing, just full of joy. And that makes sense because they're able to have those jobs and they're able to live. And I want to say this, Odidi. Now, I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm just being real. I can also tell that you take care of your people because of the way they present themselves. They're well groomed. I'm being honest, y'all, because look, that's something that I look at. Certain restaurants, if they're not well groomed, if they're not taking care of themselves, 9 times out of 10 is because they may not be able to fund to get the right things that they need to care for themselves. That's so real. That's one of the reasons I don't eat at Burger King. I'm being a, well, one, it's not healthy for me, but that's one of the reasons because there's certain there's I've just seen some things and I'm like, when you are serving food, that's important because your hands are touching the food, you're breathing over the food, so the aesthetic matters. So why not provide a living wage where they can live comfortably in their household, a nice household where there's air conditioning. Do you get what I'm saying? They can get the right grooming products for them, what have you. So I just want to thank you for that because that's huge. That's amazing. He takes care of his people. Go ahead and go to Fresh One Kitchen today. Okay, y'all are open 7 days a week.
Yes, that's correct.
7 days a week. Go ahead, and I love it too because y'all's hours are fantastic. Is it you're open till 9?
Till 9 p.m.,
Till
yes.
9 p.m. you open at?
And on Sundays, we open up until 8 p.m., but that's
Okay.
it. We're not going to go beyond that.
Yes,
No.
definitely. Yeah, not on a Sunday. I know that's right because you see protecting his people.
Yeah.
Do you see that? I understand that. But I love that because there are very few places that offer healthy food that are open till 9 and on Sundays that are even open till 8. So I appreciate that as well. I love that. I love that. What do most people not see, Odidi, about what it truly takes to run a business or to run a restaurant every day? The reason why I want to speak to this is because the food industry is large. And the food industry, to me, is an industry that many people want to be in, but it's not, like I said, it's not for the weak. There's a lot that goes into it. So again, what do most people not see about what it truly takes to truly run a restaurant successfully? You've already mentioned some of it here, but I would just like for you to add on to that, or maybe some things that in your journey that came up for you that you realized.
I think there are many factors we can consider. From a business standpoint, the restaurant business usually has a very small profit margin. If you run it really well, maybe you may do a little bit better, and if you're able to negotiate better, you may have good rents and stuff like that. But overall, it's one of those businesses that it's easy to get into, but really difficult to maintain. And so and I think that goes for just about anything we do out there. And I think that's really where your vision has to come to reality. Um, and I would use us as an example. The first 1 year of our business, we just kept putting more money into it. And it was very discouraging. But what kept us going was the mission. We knew what we were called out to do. We knew this is what we wanted to do, and we knew how we were going to do it. So the money became a secondary factor. As much as it hurt us to do it, we just kept doing it until we're able to get to a place where we're able to stop doing that, and the business began to perform or keep itself alive. But overall, I would say to anybody out there going to a restaurant, I use a restaurant because that's what I do, the profit margins are small. They're very small. So you must be willing to do a lot of things that are uncomfortable. Maybe work longer hours, be there the whole day, maybe neglect your family a little bit. I'm not advocating for that, but to make it work. And I think I personally believe that goes for just about any business out there. The initial start is usually very hard, but I think with a commitment to want to make something work, ultimately it will work because you begin to think differently. How do I scale this business? What are the things that have worked for me? What are the things that haven't worked for me? And how do I expand the things that have worked for me?
And I'm sure that you receive motivation within that too. because, like you said, there are certain things that are tough in the beginning, especially time, prep. I didn't realize when it comes to a restaurant how early you have to get there to prep, especially with having fresh food. It takes time to prep the food. You have to throw away certain things after a day. Certain things only last a day. Other things last a week. Other things last the organization of it, the portions, everything. There's so much that truly goes into it. But when you start seeing it scale, when you start seeing the lives that you are making a difference in, the community that's being built, the employees that you have that are actually able to make a living wage and live comfortably. They can pay their bills, they can take care of themselves, they can have a family, they can live their dreams because they have great income coming in. That has to feel great, Odidi.
I think it's a how do you say a work in it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I say it feels great, but I'm thankful and very humble that we're able to do it. Yeah, and I think maybe a time would come when I'll say it feels great, but for right now, I'm really thankful.
You have such an amazing spirit.
Thank you.
What fuels your spirit? Because I can tell that you really take care of yourself. What does that look like?
I think for me, I'm going to try not to be religious in this conversation, but I think my belief in God makes all the difference for me. I think I just, I'm in that space where I believe without God, nothing is possible in my life. So I depend on Him. I put my whole trust in Him, and I think that's changed my whole perspective about life. So I never wake up worrying at all. There's zero worry in my life. I think, and because when I was little, there's a song I used to sing. It says, "God holds my tomorrow." So and because I know He holds my tomorrow, why worry about today?
I love that. I love that. It's so important. It's so important. Your spiritual core. Having a strong spiritual core, it's necessary for everybody, right? It's necessary for everybody because when you have that strong spiritual core, that is what supports you in navigating. That's what supports you in having clarity. That's what supports you in not being in stagnant energy, not feeling stuck, because you are able to perceive things differently. You're able to shift out of the default mindset into more of a healthier mindset, and you're able to see what is being offered to you in the experience
Absolutely.
instead of judging the experience.
Absolutely.
So I love that because I'm a very spiritual person as well. I'm a very spiritual person, and that is priority. Somebody was actually telling me the other day, Odidi, they said to me, they were playing a song, and they were just joking around because this isn't even the song they really listened to, but they just played this random song, and the frequency of it was just so, it was so dark. I was like, I cannot listen to this because I'm really big, and I believe you're the same way because I can tell by the music you even play in the restaurant. It's always uplifting. It's always, you come, like it's the whole atmosphere. You come in here, you're getting fresh food, you're taking care of yourself. It's just a whole experience that you offer. And when I heard this song, I was like, turn that immediately. It's not agreeing with my spirit when that person played that song. It's like it doesn't agree. And they took a moment to really be with that because at first they were like, gosh, like, because I was so direct with it. But then they said, Zen, with what you do, and I'm saying this because it reminds me of you, with what you do, I understand why you're so intentional about what you feed your spirit.
Absolutely.
Because the
Absolutely.
same thing with what you do, the different people that you encounter on a daily basis, you encounter more people than the average person. Because you have so many people coming in, you have different locations, you have different employees, all the things, and even outside of the business. So I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
What's one misconception about restaurant ownership that you wish people understood? And the reason why I'm asking this question is because I say this. There are two things that I wish would be federally regulated work that people were required to do for just a certain amount of time: food, hospitality, and retail.
Right.
Because those who have not been in either of those industries, I feel there's a lack of consideration. I feel there's a lack of empathy depending on the person. So that's why I asked this question. What's one misconception about restaurant ownership you wish that people understood? Or even if you want to answer it this way, what is something that you wish people just had more understanding about when it comes to them being a guest, them being a customer at a restaurant?
I think a good part of that has to do with something we shared earlier, the work behind the scenes. There's so much that goes behind the scenes, so much people put together to make sure your experience is great, to make sure your experience is flawless. And I think when you go into a restaurant, you should be mindful of that. So I would cite a typical example of me, and then I'll come back to this conversation. When I go into a store, if I pick something up and maybe I'm down to the cashier station and I decide I don't want that item, I would walk right back to place it where I got it from because I realize it requires so much, it requires a lot. Somebody else has to come back, grab that thing, go find where I got it from to place it back. And those are some of the things sometimes we don't think about, that there's so much work that goes behind the scenes to see, to get the experience that we get. The second part of your question that I want to answer would be when you go into a restaurant, you see people coming in, people buying. There's a lot of transaction going back and forth. The profit margin is actually very little because now, as an owner, you have to pay your staff, you have to pay for food, you have to pay for utilities, you have to pay for so many things. So those are things sometimes even the employees, some of my team, sometimes don't even see that part because we don't. That's not information that's broadly shared. I do take a step different in that I share some basic information with my team, with the sales and our food cost and all of that. The whole idea is to get them to see where we are, what are the things we're struggling with, what are the things we're doing really well. And that's really helped me quite a lot as a business owner. So, but to come back to your question, I think if there's any misconception, is that don't think of the business as just making a ton of money. Think of it as just trying to make a living. And when you have that mindset going in there, then you're able to patronize them a little bit better.
I love that. I love that. The behind the scenes,
Yes.
the work that it takes to bring you the
That's
experience,
right.
the work that it takes. And let's be real about it as well. We're also human. We're also human. So there's going to be things that come up. There's going to be things that happen. That's how we grow from it. That's how we learn. So also to have consideration for that. Cuz think about it. Especially if you have well, you definitely, if you know, you know, if you've been in the industry of food and retail, but if you don't know, there's probably a reason you haven't been. Because would you do all that prep work? And think about what you do in the industry you are in, the profession you are in, how much that takes. I wouldn't want to switch places with you. Okay, I
That
wouldn't
is
want to switch
funny.
places,
Yeah, it
Odidi.
is hard work.
It's hard
It is
work.
hard work, yes.
What is your effect? This is my signature question. The mark of your energy that makes a ripple, your impact, your imprint. Woo, you have a lot of them. Because I can already think of some. But what would you say your effect is? Because it's the Zen Effect Show, your effect, your essence, your secret sauce that nobody else has, that is your God given effect.
That's a very subjective question. I think for me, I'm by nature very affirmative. So if I have a conversation with you, I tend to default towards the affirmation, just letting you know you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. But I think to answer your question correctly, I think my signature effect has always been a smile, my smile. I don't care how difficult a person is. I don't care how difficult the situation is. I would always approach it with a smile. And I realized when I did that, it kind of softened the environment and made that situation easily dealt with or handled better. So I would say my smile plays a big role in how I deal with life, how I deal with people, and how I see the world.
You do have a signature
Yeah.
smile, 1000%.
Thank
It
you.
doesn't matter. Like honestly, Odidi, it don't. I feel like if you, and I don't know if this is true, if this happens or not, but I feel like if you were up for 72 hours, you would still be
I
smiling.
think I wake up smiling.
Yes, 1000%. And I love it. And it's so encouraging. It's so encouraging. And it does, someone's smile can do so much
Right.
for the person who's receiving that.
Right.
For the person who's receiving that. As we close, I just felt led to ask you this last thing. Is there anything that you would like to share with the audience that maybe we didn't share already? Is there anything on your heart or anything that's alive for you that you would like to share?
Sure, I think I mentioned this the last time. There's a phrase I go by, and it's really made a big difference in my life. And it's simply, you have all you need to succeed. What you don't have, you don't need. So in me, I have all I need to succeed. Now, how we measure success depends, but in me is the ability to be anything I want to be. Now, once you get there, you have to figure the scaling part. How do I scale that? But I live my life daily knowing that in me is the ability to be anything I want to be, and in me is the ability to be successful.
I love that. Thank you so much, Odidi.
Thank you.
This won't be the last time. I
No,
definitely want to have you
I,
on some more
I
because
always
it's
enjoy
it's
talking
such
with
a
you.
pleasure having you on this show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.